Everybody, my name is Debbie. This is my very first home tour, fall 2016. This is part one of that home tour. I'm going to be showing you my back patio, my kitchen, and my living room. Starting out in the back, I've just mixed a bunch of things that I got this year along with some old things together and made a display. That clay jack-o'-lantern that you see I got at Fred Meyer's. Also, those beautiful mums with all the blooms on them were $2.49 a piece. I thought that was a pretty good deal. And then I've just mixed it in with my old herb barrel that I had from this summer that's all grown over. A blue stool that I got at a garage sale with a watering can and a wash basin. And then some corn stalks. So that is the display going into my kitchen. Let's go inside. So I wanted to tell you as we get started throughout my house that my house is kind of decorated country flea market. Most of the accessorizing that I've done is all stuff that I've thrifted or gotten from garage sales. A lot of things I bring home and redo. Some of it I don't even care to redo it. I just like it the way it is. I love old things, so that's my preference, to have something that's old. And let's get started. I'm going to show you some things in my house that I think even if you are someone that decorates with modern decor, whatever you like, I think you can find some things in my house that you may want to do in your own home. Let's get started. So here on my island, I tend to keep things pretty simple. I just have some leaf placemats on there with a cake stand that I got at the thrift store. That cute decoupage vase that you see just has some mums in it out of my front yard, and actually my BFF made that for me. The chicken candle holder that you see was also a gift from a friend of mine. And everything, even down to the paper towel holder, I have gotten at the thrift store. Looking across this way on my counter, I have a tray that I got also at the thrift store. And then I have a lot of pumpkins that I purchased at the craft store, and they just get used through my house all through the season. I love them because they stay perfect looking, and then I just mix a few florals around them, usually things that I've just cut off of stems and reused from year to year. Also above my island, I have an old ladder that I've suspended on some chain, and this is one of the versatile things that I have in my home that can get changed out for all the different holidays. There's a lot of things you can do with these old ladders. You could hang your pots and pans off of them, you could hang herbs off of them, string lights through them, just a lot of things you can do. And it was just an inexpensive ladder that I got at an antique store. And then I've just got some paper leaves that I got at the dollar store hanging off of there with the banner. And it gets changed out for all the holidays. Here above one of the countertops in my kitchen, I have that old country cook sign that you see was a door off of an old hutch, and I just turned it sideways and painted on it. I've got a bicycle up there with a grocery bag with a can that I saved and just some wax fruit in it, and a rooster. I love roosters. I have a lot of roosters in my house. You'll also see as you go through my house, I have a lot of red almost in every room of my house. This is a hutch that I have in my kitchen. It's actually an old secretary, and I just have the desk pulled out on it. Mostly everything in that hutch is something that I've thrifted, except for the owl, the burlap owl, and the burlap pumpkin on the top shelf, and then those LED candles I got at Fred Meyer's. Let's get closer so you can take a look. So the leaf garland I just got last weekend when I was thrifting with my friend at the Goodwill. I found that. The canisters I found on another trip to the Goodwill. Actually, that was at a garage sale type of Goodwill place. Even the picture frames are from a thrift store. So that is my secretary. Thrift stores are a great resource. If you're on a budget, you're trying to decorate your home, and you don't have a lot of money, it's a great place to find things. If you've got a color scheme in mind, you can always find something, and that's what I do. I just keep my colors in mind when I go, and I go on a treasure hunt. My kitchen table this year is so festive. I have a wooden box that sits on it that I thrifted a couple of years ago, and it actually had the candles in it. That gets changed out for all the holidays. Right now it has some silk leaves in it and some little pumpkins and acorns that I got at a thrift store. And then that cute wooden squirrel I got at Big Lots. And I'll get closer so you can take a look at him. I think he's so cute. Okay, here we're looking at an old corner hutch that I thrifted, and I just have it filled with my china. Above that I have a little flower vase with some picks in it. And then that red sign that you see on the wall is actually an old window, and I've just put a magnet board and a chalkboard on it and made it into a wall hanging, and I keep my grandchildren's love letters on it. Windows are super versatile. There's a lot of things you can do with windows. I have several of them in my home, and you can always come up with a great idea for using them. So here we are looking into my living room from the kitchen, and this room in particular has a lot of thrift store items in it. So I want to show you a few things that you can do just with a little bit of paint and some imagination. All the tables that I have in here are tables that I found at thrift stores and then just repainted. The lamps that you see on both sides of my couch were thrift store finds, and they're actually jugs. Let me get closer so you can take a look. So these are actually just jugs that someone put a light kit in. I brought them home and I cleaned them up and stenciled on them and put burlap shades on them. And I think they work perfectly in here. They're really substantial lamps. So they're big and bulky, and they kind of fit perfectly on each side of the couch in here. Amazing the things that you can find if you look. Another really versatile thing that I do is windows. Like I told you, in the kitchen I have a window that I used. Here I use them over my couch. Right now they have some grapevine wreath wrapped around them with some fall leaves. There's a million different things that you can do with windows. If you just look on Pinterest, it's amazing the things people do with them. But like I said, they're versatile, so they're going to get changed out for every holiday. You could put lights on them. There's a bunch of different things you can do with them, and I will have them decorated all up for Christmas this year, and I just think they look really cute right now with the grapevine on them. Looking at this section of my house, I have an old red desk that was my mother's, and then I just found a shelf that I thrifted, and it's got some of my china in it with a fresh egg sign. That's just a cute little display corner. That jug that you see sitting on the table I got at a garage sale this year. In the summertime, I had it out on my back patio with a flower in it in summer. Now I have it in the house with just some picks in it for a floral display. And I basically bought it because those were my colors, red, white, and blue. The rug that I have in my living room actually just ties everything together. It's got my colors on it, red, blue, and gold. And primarily those are the colors that I keep throughout my whole house. So when I find things, it pretty much will go just about in any room. Looking this way, I have a reading corner with a lounge chair. And behind that I have an old door. Doors are another thing that you can do a lot with. Right now I just have a little red shelf nailed to it with a fall wreath and a country sign. And I'll get closer so you can see that. So there is my old door. And it still has the old knob on it. Above my window, I don't know if you can see, I'm not very good with the camera, this is my very first video. I have an old piece of molding that I turned into a shelf up there. It doesn't have anything on it right now, but you could put stuff up there if you wanted to. It's got some old knobs on it. And then I have a cute little table that was actually a hope chest, and it was in my family, and I just stenciled on it. And there is one of those pumpkins that I got at the craft store, and I just cut the top of it off and turned it into a flower pot. So looking this way is over above my fireplace. I just have an old piece of fencing that I actually got for $5, and it has some silk garland and some lights on it with some scarecrows and a little sign. That's another thing that you can change out for all the holidays, do something different with. And then that cute scarecrow that you see in the corner, he was also from the Goodwill. And I'll get closer so you can take a look. So the stencil on my wall is a fleur-de-lis. It's hand stenciled. I think it kind of looks like wallpaper. It really brightens up a boring, plain old wall. And I needed something a little brighter back there behind the windows, and I chose to do a stencil like I have in my kitchen, and I think it turned out pretty cute. It looks just like wallpaper to me. So there is the first part of my Fall Home Tour 2016. Stay tuned for part 2 where I have more great ideas. Thanks for watching.